Back in the day, if you really wanted to try a cigarette or a beer, but were a few months or even years south of proper, it often wasn't all that hard to get your friend's cool older brother to make you a fake driver's license that looked close enough to the real thing to fool a clerk and allow you to walk out of the store contraband in hand. In modern times, though, governments and other organizations have used technology to finally start to seriously combat the ancient practices of forgery and counterfeiting. Not just to make sure you're really of legal age, but to prevent serious crimes like human trafficking and keep your money safe. So what are some of the things that make documents like passports, driver's licenses, credit cards, and cash so hard to forge these days? Let's start with something that's usually pretty easy to see, the hologram. Because a hologram is really a precise record of how light diffracts off of an object at different angles, it's harder to produce than a regular photograph. You need lasers, lenses, and special film, making these a popular security feature on ID cards, credit cards, and passports. But of course, holograms can still be copied given the right tools. So these days, you might also see very fine engraving in the hologram if you look closely enough, which is even more difficult to copy if you don't have the same equipment that was originally used to make it. But what about the stuff then that's a little less obvious? And no, I'm not talking about the ignorant and culturally offensive rumor that Canada made its $100 bills smell like maple syrup. No, wait a minute. But rather, the special inks that are used for printing money or other documents. Oftentimes, governments can defeat people that try to modify passports illegally by printing them with thermally sensitive ink. When the forger tries to tamper with the passport, a process that often requires heat, the ink will change color, letting officials know that passport is no longer kosher. There are also inks that can be printed in 2.5 dimensions, so you can actually feel a bump with your finger. Ones that shift color depending on the viewing angle. This is a pretty neat feature of the latest US currency. And even ones that shine under a black light. You can learn more about that in this video here. But there's more to it than just technology and owning the right equipment. Sometimes the best defense can be simply attention to detail. Have you ever bought a Louis Vuitton purse that has the LV logos cut off by a seam? Or an iPhone with typos on the packaging? Well, the agencies that print money and IDs can even outsmart counterfeiters through similar means. Here's an example. Certain fonts that they might use look simple or unremarkable at first glance, but might have subtleties that make them very hard to reproduce exactly. And many times, they aren't fonts that you can get from a Google search, but proprietary typefaces only used by a certain country's government, some of which contain intentional imperfections to throw counterfeiters off. The more you know. Of course, many of us are using bank or credit cards a heck of a lot more than cash these days, so stay tuned for a follow-up episode on those newfangled chip cards and how and why they're harder to copy than those mag stripes that we're all used to swiping. Or, if by this point in the video your tinfoil hat sense is tingling, let me know in the comments if you want to see a video about exchanging things we know are valuable, like gold coins, magic beans, and cows. Or maybe you can save me the trouble by creating your own website documenting the merits of the barter system with eggs, chickens, and cows as currency, and putting it up online with Squarespace. Squarespace lets you take your vision, whatever that vision is, and put it on the web easily and affordably. They've got 24/7 support via live chat and email, and it starts at just $12 a month, and you get a free domain if you buy Squarespace for the year. All of their gorgeous templates feature responsive design, so your website will look great on any device, whether it's a TV or a phone. Commerce is included with every website, though I can't promise that you'll be able to implement your Chicken's payment system. They do support Apple Pay though, so if you're into kind of more mainstream stuff for your online store, then that'll work. Their Cover Pages feature allows you to have a simple, beautiful one-page online presence in minutes, and they've got tons of other great tools as well. My favorite of which is just the nature of a cloud-based website creation service, which is that you can make quick changes and preview them immediately. So start a Squarespace free trial by going over to squarespace.com. We've got that linked in the video description, and use offer code TechQuickie once you've decided, wow, this site looks great, and I would like to pay for it now, to save 10% off your first purchase. Thanks for watching, guys. Like if you liked, dislike if you disliked. Check out our other channels. Comment with a video suggestion. Oh, my arm is kind of sore. I fell down on one of our recent Channel Super Fun videos on the Slack line and busted it. Anyway, maybe we'll put that as a suggested video. Oh. And don't forget to subscribe and follow for more videos just like this one.